Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM20 story, The Head Coach with me, Daniel, a journeyman series combined with the Director of Football Challenge, a save in which we have no say in transfers, contracts or staffing, and today we're back for the final league game of Season 1. It's been a slightly above par performance this season, certainly nothing to get too excited about though, and we start on our own profile for today's episode, just to show you the big important news. We've done enough at Kettering to be rewarded with a new deal, a £25 a week wage rise for another additional year, although we are a little bit worried about what might happen this summer, and we'll talk about that a bit more in a moment. But a good start for us, certainly better than last year's edition. In FM19 it was obviously a disaster to start with, however in FM18 we started absolutely brilliantly, so this one's sort of a balance between the two. But I start here to avoid any spoilers as well, and say a massive thank you to everyone that supported the series so far. I'm recording this the day after the first one came out, and I've been absolutely blown away by the support for it. It's been the best performing video in the first day I've ever had on this channel, and I can't thank you enough for giving it a try. So if you're following along regularly, a massive thank you as always. Please do put a thumbs up on the video if you're enjoying the series, and if you're new to the channel then subscribe for daily FM20 content. We've got this head coach story every other day, with the other days filled by a Dorking Wanderers challenge. In that one club story we're trying to take them from the bottom playable league to the top, and we actually started that save 3 or 4 weeks back, so we're a couple of seasons in and you can catch up with the journey so far by clicking back on the eye above to the series playlist. You'll find the one for this series and our B to save with Luton Town there as well, so anything you've missed so far, if you don't want spoilers, just click back and you'll be able to find the playlist, and then just pop back over to this one when you're done. But obviously we've looked at our profile long enough now, so let's go and have a look at how things have been going, and I'm afraid we have fallen away towards the end of the year, 9 points off the playoffs in 10th space, but barring a disaster today we will finish 11th or above, and that is enough to see us a top half finish. We face Chester in 8th, who are fighting for that last playoff spot. In fact they could still finish as high as 4th remarkably. That table is so tight for the last playoff spot. 4 sides out of 5 are going to get there, and the other one's going to be absolutely devastated. But most importantly for us, we've stayed miles clear of relegation. We needed to avoid the battle, and my word have we done that. But there's some good news, some bad news, and some slightly strange ones off the pitch, so let's go through those first before we look at recent results. And I start of course on the transfer market. It closed towards the end of March, and our Director of Football's done some interesting things, so let's go and have a look at what he's been up to. So let's go to the history for the end of the season. No one else coming in as you can see, but one going out from the first 11, and he's gone off to FC Hacker in Finland. A very bizarre transfer for the start of April. It was obviously only on pay-as-you-play deals. We mentioned it was a problem in the last episode, and he's now gone to take 500 quid a week, so we can't really begrudge him for the move. But he's playing over in Finland now, so we've lost one of our only 2 good strikers, and that didn't help towards our end of season run. In the last game actually we lost 1-0, and we were completely dominant but just couldn't put the ball away. But there is some more positive news as well. In addition to us getting offered a new contract, there's a couple of others from the first team squad that have done the same, so let's go and have a look at them, shall we? We've got Joe Scars here till the end of next year, as is Liam Williams, the centre half. Manny Idem signed a new deal in goal as well, and added to Gareth Dean, that's almost a back 5. If he can just get a right back, we'll be absolutely flying, but there's plenty of others who haven't got a contract yet, so not one midfielder bar Connor Kennedy's got a deal, and only our backup keeper as well. So going forward next season it could be an absolute disaster, otherwise we could be watching a big revolution at the club. So obviously the summer windows are really quick in this series. We just skip through and see what we're given for pre-season, and I'm a little bit interested to see what we get here, although a lot of the big earners will be leaving the club. He obviously may offer a few a new deal as we get closer to that time at the end of the contract. He does try to keep things cheap where possible, so I'm interested to see what will happen this summer. Probably the one of the most intriguing I've had in a while. You can see from that screen as well, Daniel and T's covering in the target man at the moment. Certainly not natural in that position, but let's see how he's been performing in recent weeks before we go and get into the final game against Chester. So if we look at the schedule, you're with me for that thrashing at Kidderminster. The first time I had to cut expletives out of an episode. You obviously saw that in the last one, so apologies for the beep, but hopefully it made you smile if nothing else. So looking at the last games, we've had a pretty poor month this month, but beforehand it was going okay. We kept in the playoff hunt with 3 games unbeaten, a home to Altrincham a 1-1 draw, Alex Nimmerly with the equaliser although he's since left, and then at home to Boston we won 4-0, Reece Kavanagh back with a bang with a hat-trick, and Nimmerly getting the other again, and then away to York it was Reece Kavanagh the saviour, he nicked a point to take us into April in form. But unfortunately it all went wrong away to Southport. They were chasing a title at the top with Kidderminster, still only 3 points behind going into today, so it's all to play for at the top of the league. There Alex Nimmerly got the goal in his final appearance for the club. Unfortunately he left before the next one, although we did comfortably beat Gloucester, the bottom half team, Cavan and Meekelen and T with the goals. Away to Telford, as I mentioned, we dominated, but just could not find that finishing touch, and as a result we go into this one with a defeat and absolutely no chance at making the playoffs. So a bit of a dead rubber, but a chance to say goodbye to a lot of players. And of course we'll have a look at the job centre at the end of the season too. Unfortunately Kettering haven't been willing to pay for a coaching badge, so we've not been able to increase our reputation too much. But finishing above expectations should at least give us something at the end of the year, and we'll have a look to see if there's any in the division above. If we can move up it would be a good time, as I do really worry for this club in the summer. We're over the wage budget, in the red financially. I can't see what wiggle room our director of football's got, and I worry that I'm going to have as weak a squad to play with next year, and I'm not sure we'll be able to replicate this again. But let's look at the dynamics just so you can see how the squad's getting along. Everything's pretty decent at the moment. Nimmerly was one of my biggest supporters, so it is a shame he's left the club, but we can't begrudge him gaining 500 quid a week. He certainly deserves it for his performances with us. So we might have to go one up front next year, as we're obviously going to lose Kavanagh as well. I presume our director of football won't be able to loan him again, so I think he's actually out of contract at Bristol Rovers. So let's just go and get into this game, play our match against Chester. Probably more exciting from watching the away side to see if they can sneak their way into the playoffs. A good club on their way back, so I'll be interested to see if they can. They've still got Bernard Morley in charge, although we're heavy favourites according to the media. So a pretty regular lineup, one you would expect from us. Justin T coming in for Nimmerly. Of course a massive downgrade, but there's not much we can do about that, though the back four is starting to get a bit more settled. So we've got Manny Adem in goal with his new contract, Scars and Vidal are the fullbacks, Liam Williams joins Dean at centre half. I'm hoping they'll be able to be really solid next season. Then Meikle and Kelly on the wings, and for both of course it could be their last game. Pugh and Kiersey the lone players in the middle, and then T joined by Reece Kavanagh up front, a player we certainly have to give a big send off. 17 goals in 23 appearances, and if he hadn't had those couple of injuries I certainly think we'd be competing for the top 7. We've got game changers such as O'Connor and Kennedy on the bench, not much else aside from that in truth, so it's going to be interesting to see if we fall behind, if there's anything we'll be able to do to get back in the game. But let's get into this final one of the season against Chester before we have to overhaul our tactic and squad, and I'm really interested to see what the director of football does this summer, as it looks like we've got a pretty packed house here at Kettering. So we're going to tell the lads to prove why they're favourites, although I'm not quite sure why they are to be truth. We're going to go to a positive mentality, just try and give the fans a show for the last day. So let's get into it with T's kick-off and see if we can cause a shock against Chester. It's Dean the centre half with a long ball forward, and that's the problem, not having a good target man. But the long ball forward the second time's cleared, and unfortunately our direct play isn't working anymore. We haven't got a big header of the ball up there, so we have been trying to go wider in the last episodes, but it's led to us creating less goal scoring opportunities, so for now we're back to playing through our target man. 15 gone, almost no highlights at all, and to be honest we'll probably take that. It's been a good performance so far. Kelly into the back post and T misses with a free header. A good chance, you feel Nimmerly would have put it away, but this is the quality we're working with now, and T's probably not good enough for this level. It's Kelly with a free kick 30 yards out, outswinging angle, probably not the best. Oh, what a save by Griffiths. I thought I was going into the top corner. I was about to celebrate, but it's a wonderful save, and now they've got to defend a corner. Chester trying to defend it, and they do with Livesey. Williams knocks it down for Meikle at the edge though. It's back to Dean, and it seems to be petering out here, eventually all the way back to halfway. Out to Meikle on the right though, who beats a man. Great recovery with a sliding challenge. He's out for a throw, and with a quarter of the game gone, we've restricted Chester to no shots on goal. 15 to the break, it's another Kelly free kick. Easier save for Griffiths this time, but he's hit the target again, the experienced skipper, in what is probably his last game for the club. I've put the league table at the bottom here so you can see how Chester are getting on in their chase. Of course this is a nothing game for us, although a top half finish could be a big thing for us. 11th place and a top half finish on the CV certainly looks better to National League employers. I'm sure a few will get sacked, or even if it's a bigger club at this level, certainly would be something that interests me. Kavanagh offside after a brilliant save from Griffiths, and with 5 to the break there's not much going on the pitch. Well, it's half-time, a Williams booking the only noteworthy moment for us, although we have been really solid defensively actually. Chester not really going for it, maybe they think a draw will be enough, but as we go into the second half, I'd imagine they're going to go a bit more attacking. You can see at the bottom right there, Kidderminster winning 2-0, Sam Allardyce's possible son getting the second goal, so it looks like they are going to deservedly win the title. They've definitely been the best team we've played all year. It's Jackson back to Livesey for Chester, long ball forward again, and this is a bit like the last game against Telford. Almost mirrors it identically. We had most of the chances and had more of the play, but then at the back here we concede the goals. Hughes heads this one just wide. Thankfully we survive at 0-0, but we're a little more fragile at the back than our opponents. More importantly up front, we just haven't got the extra goal scorers. Kavanagh doesn't get as many chances when he's not got a good target man. He often gets on the end of so many flick-ons. Here and T's not winning too many. Clark at right back for Chester. Long ball over towards Rowland. They're just starting to get on top a bit now. They've had 3 shots in this second half and we haven't managed any yet, and we're only 7 minutes into the second period. Kelly clears away only as far as Burton. Out to Jackson on the right for them. Rowland into Waring. It's really good football. Hughes 25 yards out to the target man. Third man run from Jackson. Brilliant save Idem. Falls for Thorne on the left hand side. Another chance to get a crossing. Back to Taylor the left back into Waring who scores. And it's been coming in this half. We certainly can't argue. And we're going to ask the lads to show a bit of passion. We can't really get too emotional today. It's been a little bit difficult for the last few weeks. Ever since Nimmerly left, I've been a bit deflated, knowing that our squad's starting to fall apart. There's a few more going after this game, and unless we get great replacements in, I really think this club's in a world of trouble next year, so I will be having a look to see if our reputation improves, and just a slight chance we'll have to leave the club. Chester into the playoffs as Waring heads wide again. Let's just get a few substitutions on. We'll bring on Kennedy the youngster. O'Connor can come on for Kelly who get a round of applause. Meikle switching over to the left for him, and then Pugh as well actually will replace, or can we take off Williams for Philby? I think we're going to bring Philby on just because he's a youngster, try and get him a little more fitness, and with 20 to go we're not expecting much. We'll just see in a minute if we're still in the top half. A long ball forward by the goalkeeper for Chester. Phoney falls for Scars at left back. Long ball in, Kavanagh's 1-on-1. Usually so reliable, but this one he puts just wide of the post. The first clear-cut chance of the game goes begging. Thorne with a throw on the left to Hughes. Near the byline with plenty of options. Finds Thorne again into Jackson. Headed away as far as Burton. And Chester in his second half have been a different animal, and one we probably can't compete with. Thorne on the left-hand side back to Rowland. 25 yards out with space. Brilliant save Idem, and he gets there before the rebound. Really good work by the Nigerian keeper. Another chance for Chester. I haven't got a chance to tap the table. I just want to go and see if we're still in the top half, but it's relentless attacks from the away side here, and again Rowland trying his luck from distance. Blocked as far as Burton in the centre circle. They start again with a long ball over the top. Philby the substitute heads down for Pugh, and now we can create one on the counter. Kavanagh's got it 1-on-1. Good sliding challenge from Livesey. It's all the way back to Griffiths in goal, and for a match on key highlights, it has certainly been quite an interesting one. We're back for a throw-in with Clark at right back. Chester coming forward yet again. I'm not sure what's happened in this half. It's been an absolute disaster, especially considering how much we dominated the first. Rowland in the centre circle. Out to Thorne on the left-hand side. Got a man overlapping at left back. That man's Taylor and he goes long. Waring holds it up ahead of Philby. Out to Jackson on the right-hand side. There's 2 in the box for Chester. He tries to find them, but it beats them all. But Thorne will keep it in on the far side. He's going to try and deliver again into Waring. Touch and shot, which is blocked behind. Dean with a good interception, and he's behind for a Chester corner kick. They've gone very attacking. We're just going to try and chase the game. Ask the lads to demand more. The ball will come in and we'll probably concede from here. We're absolutely awful defending set pieces. Burton on the edge of the box to Hughes. Been loads of highlights in this half. Not really good for us as Chester have had most of them, and again they're coming forward in the wide area. Scars with a foul, an awful challenge, just a needless interception, and unfortunately it's another chance from a set piece. Jackson from the right hand side. It's been such a long highlight, you just presume it has to lead to a goal, but it doesn't. It ends on the left hand side, and we're back with a Scars throw-in. Falls for Kennedy 40 yards out to O'Connor on the right. He's into the box unopposed. His shot's blocked for a corner. It just took too long. He didn't have that composure, and in the end a good chance goes begging again. Scars into the back stick, straight into the arms of the keeper. An absolutely woeful corner, and Chester retain their 1-goal lead. So we look at the moment, we're down to 12th place. We really need Hereford to concede a goal. As it stands, we're going to fall into the bottom half, and that will affect our chance of getting a job in the summer. Is Vidal at right back. The easy opportunity is for us to equalise, of course, though that's easier said said than done on this performance, and T holds it up and switches it to left back. Scars is going to chase it back. In fact, Meikles had to go and get it in the end. I've no idea where the fullback was. He's got the ball here inside to Pugh. Just one more chance to create a goal and nick a point on the last day of the season. Scars into the box and T attacks it. Not quite good enough to get there. And now Thorne with a long ball forward for Chester, and Idem's come flying out to get there. Long ball to the left hand side, only finds Hughes for Chester. They're completely on top at this stage, and they're just seeing the game out really professionally, as we've wasted the clear-cut chance in this match. We just haven't got that firepower up front. Kavanagh can't do it every single game. A young player who's been absolutely brilliant for us, but he really needed Nimley alongside him. It's a corner kick to Chester, just a minute of stoppage time to go, and I'd imagine they'll see this out as slowly as possible. Hughes into the box, as Livesey loses out. Kavanagh flicks it away to T, and now we've got a chance with 30 seconds left. Can he get the ball forward? He's just held it up and waited to be challenged. Absolutely woeful target man play. I can't remember the last time we had a break in the highlights, as we're going to finish the game with a throw-in at right back. Vidal will take it and the whistle will go straight after. Unfortunately, we fall to defeat on the final day. It's a foul by T, so they'll finish with a free kick, but what a woeful way to finish the season, and there's a lot of worry looking ahead to the summer. I'm really worried about the transfer window, and now quite worried I won't get another job. We just desperately need to finish in that top 11, but it's something that's not going to happen as a result. We lose the game, so we didn't do our bit. We're going to tell the lads it was disappointing. On their holidays a bit early with nothing to play for, and unfortunately that's cost our reputation personally. Goal difference behind Hereford, who got a draw against Gateshead. Chester finish up in the playoffs as a result of the win, and Kidderminster go and win the National League North title, but we've got our contract for next year, and I guess that's the most important thing at this point. So we end the season in 12th place, not an absolute disaster. Don't forget we joined embroiled in a relegation battle, right down towards 19th and 20th place, and we managed to get ourselves comfortably competing for the top half, and at one stage we even had a sniff of the playoffs. But lastly, we're going to go and look at our squad review and then the job centre to see if there's anything available. Hopefully there will be, and it'll be attainable for us, although I don't know if our reputation will improve quickly enough. So let's look at the selection info to put these lads in order. Only one player with an average rating above a 7. That man was Rhys Kavanagh, although to be fair, Nimley would have fallen in that bracket. He'd really done well before leaving the club, but he's now playing in the top tier in Finland, and we're having to make do with no strikers. Most of the rest of the team were affected by the ratings before we joined. Of course, we didn't come until the end of September. Although as much as we've snuck a few results this season, we've had to grind them out. We've certainly not been dominant. So decent ratings in many positions, but most of the lads out of contract in the summer. So when you come back for the start of season 2, if we're still here, it's really going to be an interesting new look squad. Unless he flies out loads of contracts offers quickly, I can't see many of these guys being here. And of course he's got a big hole to fill up front, with Nimley and Kavanagh now presumably leaving. So let's go and finish on the staff screen, have a look at that job centre. Are there any jobs available at the moment? Macclesfield relegated from League 2, but the favourite for that job, Steve Burr. He's a scout according to that. I'm sure he's managed somewhere before. I recognise his name. I think he's from Chester. He used to manage them in the National League, but not a very good coach, so I'd reckon we could compete with him. Not even much worse in reputation actually, so I might apply for that job and try my luck. Hopefully I won't upset Kettering too much. Let's have a look at the job security to see if there's any others that might become available. Hopefully there'll be some little ones about. We've got Barla in the Welsh Premier League, but that's not really a step up. Crusaders is a good job, one of the professional sides in Northern Ireland, but of course we had a dodgy stint there in FM19, and that's left me a little bit scared as a result. Otherwise there's not too much going. Sutton's precarious, they stay in the National League. That could be a job we could take for next year, but of course these are jobs that are going to be very difficult to get, the same as Boston United, who finished below us in this division. The difference with Boston is they've got a bit of a better squad, and they've also got a better director of football, and they've also got a slightly bigger reputation, so I'm interested to see what will happen this summer. We may have a new job, or we'll have a very new look squad here. But if you did enjoy this first season with Kettering Town and the FM20 edition of the head coach, please do put a thumbs up on the video. It makes such a difference and I really do appreciate it. I can't thank you enough for following along for another year. Let me know in the comments what you think we should do this summer. Should we try a hand at a couple of National League jobs, just to see if we can even get an interview perhaps? And maybe one of them will be willing to give us a try. Or alternatively, do we stick here and hope for the best in the summer? I really am quite pessimistic about the transfer window, but of course we'll be back in 2 days' time to find out, so I really can't wait for next season to start. In the meantime, subscribe to the channel for daily FM20 content, 2 long-term stories rotating each day, so the head coach will be back for the start of season 2 in 2 days' time, and we'll find out which club we'll be managing, and if we are still at Kettering, what sort of squad will they have. It's certainly going to be an intriguing summer at this club. And then our Dorking Wanderers One Club story will be back tomorrow, as we try and take them to the top of English and European football. We're a few seasons in now, so catch up if you're not up to date. I've really been enjoying that series so far. And finally, I'm also part of a podcast and we do match day vlogs and interviews, so there's a link to our latest vlog in the eye above. If it's your sort of thing, then give it a try. And we're also available on Spotify as well, and we've interviewed people such as former Premier League referee Bobby Madley and Tranmere Rovers chairman Mark Palios. But a massive thanks for watching this one and following the first season of the Head Coach series. I really do appreciate it, and I hope to see you next time for the start of season 2, as hopefully we'll have a new club, or maybe a very new look squad here.